everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. So head on over to infinityflux.net right now where you can start placing your pre-orders for all these books. That way, in a few weeks when they're released, you won't have to worry about them selling out. You will already have your name on your copy waiting for you or shipped off to you or however you choose to receive it into your face. So, we mail them real hard.
Yeah, right.
So this is another really great show, a really exciting one, with some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So let's not delay and get into it. Starting with our Prime Comic pre-orders.
And we're going to talk about Daredevil #1 again. Now, we talked about
We've been talking about Daredevil #1 for a while.
We talked about this last Wednesday, and then the FOC date got pushed back to this weekend. We talked about this this past Wednesday, and we want to talk about it one more time because the FOC date is locked in now. Daredevil #1 from Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett. This is going to be a brand new jumping on point for Daredevil. Stephanie Phillips herself said that this does not borrow or continue on any previous runs. She said it's almost like a soft reboot, but I don't want to let that scare you. It's not like a
soft relaunch.
Soft relaunch, yeah, I don't. So, it's just a new era for Matt Murdock. And with that new era, we are going to get a new supervillain named Omen, who is actually trying to hunt down Matt Murdock, not Daredevil, but of course Daredevil's going to be the one that runs interference. Matt Murdock is actually has become a law professor. So he's not a priest like in the previous run, but he's also not a lawyer. He's a law professor, and I think that sounds really cool. My last note was about being able to jump on right here. So they have released some preview pages for this already. It looks great. Daredevil has a slightly updated suit that you can see there on the cover. The baggy pant, the Marco Cicchetto baggy pants are gone, and he's now more back into a slender thing. He's got some piping like down the side of his body, but everything I've seen from this looks great. Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett, they're close friends, and they're actually working on this together. They're very collaborative on this, and I think that is going to reflect in this book. So I have very high hopes for this. So definitely get your pre-orders in this weekend because now is definitely the time. This is our A cover. We have an Alex Malee variant. There is a Blue Line blank sketch variant. There's a Dan Panosian variant, a Daniel Warren Johnson variant, a Greg Land 250th homage variant, a Jackson Zay television variant, a Peach Momoko variant, a Rose Besh variant, a Ryan Stegman foil variant. That's the one that I'm going to get, and a True Believers blind bag. I don't know what's in it. I don't think they've said.
I don't know. I do believe there's the same chance you could get original sketch. I think that's still part of it. But
are they doing sketches for this?
I thought they were. But I do know one of the big things about this is they kind of learned their lesson on the Ultimate in-game blind bag. That's one of the reasons this was delayed a week, is to make sure that the problems that happened with that aren't going to happen with this. So we know that they're shuffling them a little bit better. Hopefully they're packaging them a little bit better, and we'll have to see. So take your chances.
Yeah.
Get a blind bag.
Right. Which is ironic since it's Daredevil.
Oh. I can feel which cover I'm getting. Well, next up, a very exciting one. Yes, we have another annual for the Absolute Universe. This is Absolute Wonder Woman, the 2026 annual. The Batman one was a huge success, so I'm hoping they all get them at some point. I would love a Superman one. Mm-hmm. But this is by, of course, Kelly Thompson, but the art is by Mattia de Eloise, who did the couple-issue little story arc.
Yeah, right after the Tetracide story arc, before it jumped into the next one, it was that little 2-issue thing, which was gorgeous.
Yeah, and we've seen some pages from this. We got an early review copy, and it looks as amazing.
This thing looks beautiful, yeah.
So, in this, the experience that briefly turned Diana into Medusa, which was during that Tetracide story, in order to save Gateway City, has changed her. It haunts her, and she has never stopped seeking an answer for the gods. Her pleas to Athena have gone unanswered until now. If she wants justice, the mission is deadly and uncertain. Is it worth the risk just to set right one injustice? So this is interesting, going back to an earlier event and digging deeper into that. We haven't really seen how she's kind of how that really did change her, other than, you know, some pretty weird magic was done during that fight. So I'll be interested to see how this, you know, all plays into it. And I saw some concept art from this too, and it looks like we're going to see some of the other maybe Amazons or gods or something, some kind of gold armor. So I think that's really cool as well. So if you're reading Absolute Wonder Woman, I'm not sure if you get your books from us, I'm not sure if we'll probably, you know, if you're subscribed to the main series, probably carry that over to the annual. But just to make sure, go ahead and pre-order it, especially if you want one of the variant covers. So speaking of which, we've got our A cover here by your interior artist. We have a Hayden Sherman variant, a Haining variant,
nice.
Yeah, and a Dennis Cowan variant.
I like that one too.
Yeah,
Dennis Cowan, who is your new artist on Nightwing, coming up soon.
Yeah.
This is Generation X-23 #1. So this is the next book in the Shadows of Tomorrow era of X-Men. Next week we have a few of those. We have Inglorious X-Force #1, Rogue #1, and Psylocke Ninja #1 all next week. And then this is going to follow on the heels of that. This is from Jody Hauser and Jacopo Camagni. And when Laura and Gabby encounter someone who seems to be their long-lost friend, the harrowing plot they uncover will turn their worlds upside down. The next generation of X subjects is here, and they follow in the deadly footsteps of X-23. And it says it's featuring a host of new heroes and villains. Generation X-23 will have a surprise in store for Wolverine. So
you do see in the background some silhouettes of maybe some other kids. Maybe they were part of the Weapon X program.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know that Marvel would connect these, but you know, in that upcoming Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon,
yeah,
he's going to find out that the Weapon X program is alive and well, and trying to create new superpowered individuals, and kind of sounds like that's what this is too. When I saw the kids back there, my first thought was, oh, that looks like the silhouettes of the Omega kids from the Age of Revelation book. So
I think it's almost supposed to be like these kids at the bottom, the robots.
Oh yeah, interesting. So yeah, Laura Kinney fans, definitely don't miss this one. I don't know if this is going to be a miniseries or an ongoing, because not all of the Shadows of Tomorrow era books are one or the other. So it's a mix.
I know the cover that was just released for, I don't know if it's maybe issue 3 or whatever, doesn't look good for Laura Kinney. She's basically like bones on it.
Okay.
So it looks like this is going to be a pretty intense book.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our A cover. There's an Elizabeth Torque variant. There's a Ji-Young Lee variant, a Lee Garbett variant. That's your Daredevil artist right there. And a Scotty Young variant with Laura and Gabby.
Well, next up we have what is our first new property, new title for the return of Vertigo through DC. This is very exciting. So we have Nice House by the Sea, which is continuing with issue number 7 that will be under the Vertigo banner, but it was already a series under the DC Black Label. So this is going to be our first new original title through our return of Vertigo, which I'm very excited for. A lot of the traditional Vertigo trade dress is back with that little strip down the side. So this is very exciting because Vertigo brings a kind of books that no one else does. And we're going to kick it off with Bleeding Hearts #1 by Denise Camp and Stephen Morian. So it says, the zombies won, and 10 years after the fall of humanity, they're the dominant form of life, or not life, on Earth. They have developed their own cultural practices, their own language, and their own society. And our main character, who's right here, whose name is Mouse Pokes Golf Ball Through Hole in Head, or Poke for short, which you can kind of see that on his head, is a beloved member of his community, and with his brother in arms, Mush, he's happy to shamble along through the only world he can remember until the day his heart mysteriously starts beating again. And in the blink, the first humans he sees have stopped looking like food and have started looking like friends. And I think there's some more about kind of this like next generation of zombies and some of the weirdness that comes along with that. The early previews for this look crazy. Very Vertigo, like very, you know, like a style and stuff you just would not see anywhere else. Yeah,
we got the first 2 issues of this and 2 other Vertigo books to review. Did you read this one?
I have not read this one.
I haven't read it yet, but I did flip through it. It looks really fun. And of course, Dennis Camp, you know, he's he's killing it right now. So this is another one to watch out for.
I feel like this may feel a little bit more like his Absolute Martian Manhunter, and just like how weird, how zany can we get with some of this stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, this is your A cover. We have, and that was the A cover. That is by your interior artist. We also have a Jay Lee cover, a Nick Dragotta cover,
Nice.
a Chris Bachalo cover, which this feels like a book that I could easily see him being the artist on, because he back in the Vertigo days did a lot of books that looked like this. An Alvaro Martinez Bueno connecting variant, which I think all of the Vertigo books are going to have this on there. So it makes me wonder what some of these other things we're seeing.
So do there's other titles that will connect to this one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That looks like Ares, the Wonder Woman.
I know, and
right
with that little cat down there, and it's really interesting. And there is a foil version of this Stephen Morian A cover.
Next up is Sirens Love Hurts #1 of 4. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries from Teenie Howard and Babs Tarr. Now, this is a Black Label series, so it is completely its own continuity, and it's going to feature Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Black Canary. And those 4 characters are going to team up because there is a serial killer running loose in Gotham City that is killing women. And Black Canary is trying to take them down on her own, but she's kind of having a little bit of trouble. So she reluctantly teams up with the other characters because, she's a hero and they're criminals, right? And but it's we got a preview copy of this and I read it the other day, and it's fun because they're enemies because she's a good guy and they're bad guys, but they're like frenemies, And so when Black Canary agrees to team up with him, she's like, okay, but while we're working on this case, you guys don't do any thieving or anything like that, right? So it's a very reluctant team up there. It's fun because like Black Canary in this is engaged to Oliver Queen. Like these aren't spoilers; these are just like story points. But yeah, so this is really cool.
You told me like this is definitely Black Label.
Yeah, this is definitely Black Label. This is definitely has mature themes and mature language. There is there are expletives in here, so don't let kids read this one. But yeah, this is just a fun Gotham City Sirens type book, but just a little bit more mature and its own continuity. So it's not connected to anything else. The characters look a little bit different, have a little bit different design, but it's still the Gotham City Sirens that you know and love. So this is our A cover from Babs Tarr, so that's your interior artist. There's a Derek Chu cover, which I like a lot. There's a Sozamaika cover, a Tula Lote connecting variant, and a Sozamaika foil variant.
Well, next up we have another new one from Marvel. This is Deadly Hands of Kunlun #1. And as you can see on the cover, we got a new Iron Fist, almost like team-up book. So this is by Yigan Jiang, and Paco Medina is doing the art. It says the 7 heavenly cities are falling. As demonic forces march their conquering army across the 7 heavenly cities, the only one who can stand in their way and restore order is Iron Fist. However, as more cities fall and demonic forces swell, he'll need to rely on some unlikely allies to face the incoming onslaught. But will the combined forces of Elektra, White Tiger, White Fox, and Pei be enough to stem the tide? Or is Lim Lee destined to watch as the legacy of the Iron Fist goes up in flames? So one, Elektra's in this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also
White Tiger's in it, which
White
is cool.
Tiger, yeah. So this is a very like martial arts heavy book, which I think is really cool. And we've gotten a bit of that with Iron Fist, but not like to this level of all the characters coming together.
They're just missing Shang-Chi, and that would have been like the coolest team up ever.
Yeah, but I think this sounds really fun. I'm guessing this spins out of the Undead Iron Fist series.
Yeah,
at least a little bit with that design for.
Yeah.
I guess is that Danny Rand?
That's Danny Rand. Yeah.
So this should be really really fun, and it looks great. So this is your A cover. We also have this Adam Kubert variant. I guess there's more, and it's Elektra like in the Daredevil suit, and that's really cool. And there is also this is the Leo Chiola Undead Iron Fist variant. I like that design.
Yeah,
especially that it's like he's undead, so you can't really see his face. And...
All right, well, this is DCKO #4. Of 5, I know that the other day I said this was the last issue. I get it. I made a mistake. It's hard to keep up with everything. This is the next to last issue. And in this one, 3 mysterious new Omega charged fighters have entered the tournament.
Ooh.
And this Trinity of the Absolute will change the face of the DCU forever. It's all down to how far the final 4 are willing to go to win the penultimate chapter of DCKO. Plus, Booster Gold's true allegiance revealed, Darkseid's return foretold, and a bonkers last page that will bring the battle to the next level, which is DC's new publishing initiative, right? So I can't wait for this. We actually have an inked, no dialogue preview copy of this. But I couldn't bring myself to look through it because I didn't want to spoil. You know, it's like, there's no color and there's no dialogue. I don't want to spoil anything in like a half done version. You looked through it all, but you said you couldn't quite make out.
Yeah, it was a little hard to tell exactly what was going on towards the end.
Yeah.
You know, it does mention in this about like Darkseid's return and everything. That's going to be a scene that people are going to be talking about because it's maybe not how you expect, but. Yeah,
I really want it to be like a alien chest burster. He bursts out of Booster Gold's chest, you know, like I'm Darkseid, I'm back.
My lips are sealed. But yeah, even just the inked pages we saw of this are epic. Like there's a lot of action with the regular universe Superman, Batman, or I guess Superman and Wonder Woman versus the Absolute characters, and that's really cool.
There have been a couple of official pages released, like officially, and there's a panel where main universe Superman is going this way and Absolute Superman, and they're barreling toward each other. So, so I'm having to resist to not look through that though. I just don't want to. I wanted to wait till it's finished. So this is our A cover from Javier Fernandez, your interior artist. There is a Daniel Warren Johnson cover.
I've already pre-ordered this one.
That's ridiculous in the best way possible.
It's like Luchador Batman.
Yeah, I hope that if Batman does come back into the tournament after Night Fight, he looks like that. Yep. The heart is like, I'm going to mess with you one last time and put you in this. There's a Mike Del Mundo variant.
I like that where it's like they're walking out into an arena.
There's a Raphael Albuquerque cover. There is a Jeff Spokes variant.
Oh, that's a wraparound Hawkman
and the Demon.
Demon.
Where was that fight?
Yeah.
An Aaron Bartling Darkseid variant, a Dan Mora bracket variant, a Ben Oliver face-off variant. Joker's gonna cut their face off. There's a Dan Mora AEW cameo variant and a Javi Fernandez foil variant as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this issue and just how this is going to lead into the final issue. Like, I have no idea what's to come.
Yeah.
Well, next up, talking about the end of a series, Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 24.
Allegedly.
I feel like every time we say that, a little asterisk pops up and says allegedly. Because we're still not completely convinced of its complete disappearance. So because the solicitation is a little cheeky. The end of the line. This is it, folks. The last you'll see of Spidey and his ultimate friends by Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto. How do you say his name?
Cicchetto, I think.
Cicchetto.
Or it may be Cicchetto, but I say Cicchetto.
Or Geppetto. But the wording there, you'll see Spidey and his ultimate friends by Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto. Meaning, like, maybe you could see them by someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I still don't think we're gonna take Marvel's #1 selling book and just retire it completely.
Yeah, I just
send it out to pasture.
I have a tough time thinking that Marvel's just gonna like pull once everything is done, just pull the plug and there's nothing else. I really think there will be something to fill the gap. I don't know what, but I feel like there will be something there.
And the whole thing ends with, "That's all we can tell you." Like, there's something like you can't tell us?
Something else, yeah.
So I don't know, but if you're on board for Ultimate Spider-Man, you've been with it for 23 issues. You're gonna get issue number 24. We'll all see together what happens. I imagine this is gonna have a nice like bow at the end of it because Ultimate Endgame is still going on.
Right. So something that's important to note is this issue takes place before Ultimate Endgame #1.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to have come out before Ultimate Endgame #1. So it's kind of wrapping up the Ultimate Spider-Man story before he goes off into Ultimate Endgame. So I think by the time this comes out, we might even have Ultimate Endgame number 2 before this comes out. But keep that in mind when you read this. This is supposed to happen before Ultimate Endgame starts.
Yeah,
it just got delayed so much.
This will lead up to that first scene of
probably,
him. And, yeah.
Maybe this will tell us why the heck Tony Stark is hanging out with them just so casually in their house, you know?
So we've got our A cover right here. We have a David Messina Heroes cover, which is cool because this issue also has art by both Marco Cicchetto and David Messina. So it's like, oh, you get the team back.
And that character that's blacked out on the cover, they're not actually blacked out on the real one. And if you've been reading this series, you know who that is.
Yeah.
They've even revealed it. I don't know why it's still blacked out on this one.
We also have the Dyke Ruin Villains variant. We have a Elizabeth Torque variant, which there is a color version of this.
That's not finished.
And a Marcos Martin Ultimate Finale variant, which the final issue of Ultimate Black Panther comes out this coming week. And there's a cover that looks just like this, but for Ultimate Black Panther.
Nice. All right, this sounds cool. This is Barbarian Behind Bars #1. So this is going to be a 5-issue miniseries from Mad Cave. This is written by Elliot Callan. The art is by Andrea Muti, who we just talked about something of his coming up soon. But that's the artist on Maniac of New York, and there was a Dark Horse book that I don't remember. Very interesting style. I like the interesting color palette. A lot of use of colors to divide up different sections of the story. Who is the mysterious muscle-bound warrior, you see him on the cover there, who came to our world in a storm of magic and violence? Well, that's what public defender Irene Chang wants to know. He came out of nowhere, he doesn't speak English, and now she is supposed to help him beat a murder charge after he chopped some other weird dude's head off with a magic axe in broad daylight. Of course, he may not live to go to trial with all the enemies that he's making in prison. So this also sounds very kind of barbaric, a little bit Birthright, I guess. It sounds really fun, though.
There was an old book from Dark Horse, I think, called Berserk with Mike Deodato Jr. that did the art on it. That was like a barbarian comes to modern world, and stuff that also feels like this. I always
not
like
to be confused with Berserk from Boom and Keanu Reeves. That's a different Berserk.
But I like this. I like the take a barbarian and put him in modern day stories.
Yeah, so this should be a lot of fun. This is our A cover, and there's a Raza variant.
That's cool. He's very like spray paint on the side of a van.
Yeah, right. With an eagle.
Well, next up, I'm very excited about this. The Thing on the Doorstep #1 from Image. This is from Simon Burks, who just did that book. I forgot what it's called. Yep, I forgot what it's called.
It's probably good though.
Yeah, we talked about it. And the art's by Willie. Oh, he did Antarctica, and he did the recent Shadows over Innsmouth, Gone, Sinners. So he's done a lot of stuff recently. But it's by Simon Burks and Willie Roberts, and this is kind of an adaptation of Lovecraft's The Thing on the Doorstep. So Daniel Upton and Edward Derby have been best friends almost their entire lives, right up into the point Daniel shoots Edward dead in the Arkham Sanatorium. A crime Daniel swears he didn't commit despite all the evidence. What happened on that fateful day in Arkham? What is the truth behind the seemingly mindless act of violence? Witness the beginning of this doomed relationship and Edward's slow descent into a horrifying world beyond his control. So yeah, very creepy. You even see on the cover like his neck.
I was sitting here staring at that. Like that's a crick.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up, you sleep wrong, and you wake up.
Yeah, I can see exactly how that pillow was wrong when he was sleeping on it. But yeah, The Thing on the Doorstep is a classic Lovecraft story. So to see this get told in comics is gonna be really cool. I think they're gonna kind of expand on it a little bit, but I will definitely be checking this one out. We've got our A cover here. And we have a Lyndon White variant.
This is the Black Panther 60th anniversary special. This is just going to be a one-shot celebrating Black Panther's 60th anniversary. It's going to have a bunch of little one-and-done stories from a bunch of different creative teams. We don't really know what those stories are going to entail, but it does say that they're going to be thrilling stories from a lineup of fan-favorite writers and artists who have defined T'Challa's legacy. Don't miss this must-have tribute to T'Challa, Wakanda, and 60 years of the world's greatest protector. So Black Panther fans, grab this one up. This is our A cover. There's a Mike Hawthorne 250th variant and a Steve Rude variant.
How rude. Well, next up we have more Essential Comics, and we're going to kick it off with Amazing Spider-Man number 22. I'm excited about this one because Nick Bradshaw is doing the art on it, which is going to be really cool. And the era of space / Earth Spider-Man comes to an end, and everyone is left to pick up the pieces. We're about to enter the death spiral, so Spidey better take a deep, deep breath. So yeah, we know we're going into. Is there 1 or 2 issues between?
So I believe that next week is number 20, and that's the Norman Osborn story. After that is number 21, and the odd number issues have normally been a space story. I'm pretty sure that number 21 also deals with Norman Osborn, and that 22 is the last time we'll see quote unquote space Spider-Man in that cool suit. Like you said, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Because I think after this, Death Spiral, there's like an alpha issue for Death Spiral comes out, and then when we get into number 23, we'll be in the Death Spiral story.
Yeah. And if you saw some of the artwork and the promo for Death Spiral, we're gonna get a Spidey in a much different type of suit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the next live show. There's all kinds of weirdness coming with Death Spiral.
Yeah, but this is your A cover by Mark Bagley. We also have the Ario Anedito Hell's Kitchen variant,
which I kind of like that.
Yeah,
can we explore that story?
That's a suit I wouldn't mind seeing more of. There is a David Nakayama color block red variant.
It's pretty great too.
There's a Lee Bermejo. This one's so cool. Yeah. Very epic. There is a McFarlane Toys variant with Lizard. I guess that's from the McFarlane, like the Torment story.
Yeah.
That's like his take on Lizard. And there's the Simone DeMeo Black Panther variant, which is celebrating the anniversary. But that's cool. It's like Space Spider-Man suit with like intergalactic Black Panther.
Yeah. I'm going to miss that suit. I like that suit.
Yeah.
All right. This is Dungeons of Doom number 2. Number 1 came out this week, and I loved it. Unfortunately, the solicitation has no information about this issue specifically. It's one of those where it just kind of talks about the overall, there's a battle in Latveria and they fell in a hole and now there's horrors await them in the catacombs, that kind of thing.
It's like that description of like 4 guys like in a hole that's like 4 feet deep. Yeah. They're like, what do we do?
What do we do now? So don't really know what horrors each of these different groups will find in issue number 2. But I'm telling you, I loved issue number 1 way more than I thought that I would. I thought it would be fine. It ended up being great, and I am so excited to see this next issue.
They keep drawing Red Hulk bigger and bigger.
Yeah, real big. Now, he was in the first issue, but not very much. It's kind of like there's 3 different factions, America military, Latveria military, Hydra. But Red Hulk is down there too, trying to get out, but he's kind of off to himself.
And,
this character too.
This character that if
Umbra, I think?
Yeah, if you read the first one, I guess that's their first appearance.
I'm not sure.
But what they saw at the very end, very weird, and I'm very interested in like, wait, who are you working for?
Yeah.
And this is, setting up to be a series that I feel like is gonna, have people talking.
Yeah, I really like the first one. Cannot wait for this one. This is our A cover. There is a David Yarden variant and a Phil Noto variant.
Which I guess, I'm not sure why.
Why are they there?
Dr. Voodoo and Xavier and Emma Frost, but that'd be cool if they showed up. Yeah. Oh, and Khonshu.
This solicitation did mention something about some of the items they find, and they talked about the hammer, which we saw, some kind of hammer. The Eye of Khonshu, I think is what it's, something with Khonshu, and there's something else too. So maybe they're down there fighting over it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, next up we have issue number 2 of Knull. Issue number 1 came out this week, and it was a lot of fun. Great art, and is also setting up kind of a big story coming on later this year with Queen in Black. Mm-hmm. So in this, free from his cage and on the run, kind of spoilers for number 1, but you can't imagine the Knull series is just him, raking a mug back and forth on his bars. Knull seeks out the mysterious golden prize from his own past to assist him in his quest to reclaim his crown as King in Black. Meanwhile, Hela continues to watch from magical shadows, secretly manipulating all the players on the board to play a wicked game of her choosing. Past and present collide on a cosmic scale on multiple fronts with deadly ramifications for the future. So, a lot of mysterious stuff there. What is this this golden prize that Knull's seeking? Maybe his sword or something. But I do like this idea that Knull thinks that he got one up on Hela, and Hela the entire time is just letting his leash go a little bit longer. That's really cool. So I like number 1. I'm looking forward to number 2. This is your A cover. We also have a Ario Anedito Hell's Kitchen variant.
That's pretty funny with the Necro sword. Yeah,
it's Knull in those like jeans.
That's very Devil May Cry.
It is, yeah, or like the Crow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a David Baldeon cover, which shows you a little bit of what you might have seen in number 1, and a Phil Noto cover. That almost looked like the Chitauri that he's.
Yeah. Huh. This is It's Jeff meets Daredevil. So this one, Jeff the Land Shark learns the meaning of courage from the Man Without Fear. Plus, the latest season of It's Jeff appears in print for the very first time, so you can enjoy all the adorableness and chaos of the way Daredevil himself would without a phone screen. And it says, don't miss what happens when Jeff wins the lottery, goes to the groomer, and best of all, takes on the Hulk. So yeah, just some more Jeff fun. Sounds like there might be like a new story in this, and then also a collection of some digital stories.
I think the Daredevil story might be the new one. I liked that look. That's a good Daredevil.
Yep. This is our A cover. There's a Daniel De Nicolo variant and a Nick Klein variant. That's
so
great,
cool. Yeah. Great Jaws homage. Well, next up we have Star Wars issue number 10. Not a whole lot to say about this other than this is the final issue of the main Star Wars title, which very sad to see. And like we said multiple times, it's very weird that there is, other than the Jar Jar one-shot coming out and the Darth Maul series we know is coming up, there is no other Star Wars books on the horizon. So maybe this is, we'll get some announcements coming up soon, or maybe we're going to have a little dry period before it starts back. Who knows? But I'm going to be wrapping up here. Maybe we'll even get a hint in the end of this issue. Number 9 comes out next week, and I'll be talking about it on Monday. But definitely, if you're reading it, make sure you order the last issue. We've got our A cover here. There is a John Tyler Christopher action figure variant with one of my favorite classic Power of the Force figures. And there is a Torin Clark 2-part Black History Month connecting variant, and we've already seen the first part of that.
This is cool. This is the Rocketeer, the Islandn number 1. This, I believe it's going to be a miniseries. I don't know how many issues. This is from John Layman, who's writing Titans right now. Yeah. And then also Jacob Edgar, who did the first thing I think of is the pages in Plastic Man No More.
Oh, the
Justice League pages. So he has a really cool, like, Chris Samney, Darwin Cook kind of style.
His art.
Yeah, that's him right there. So he has a really great classic look, almost like a little bit of like a Bruce Timm Batman animated series kind of style. So he has a great look. I follow him on Twitter, and he posts cool stuff all the time. The year is 1938, and Cliff Secord, a.k.a. the Rocketeer, he's recruited to lead a search and rescue mission to find Amelia Earhart. And considering that a year has passed since she went missing, the Rocketeer is a little bit hesitant to do this until he learns that the expedition is to the same island that Betty ran off to with the scummy photographer Marco.
Oh,
boo! Marco. We hate Marco.
Marco and Paul can hang out.
All right. The Rocketeer will have to uncover the secret of the century's greatest mystery while trying to win back his girlfriend. But what else awaits him on the island? So this just sounds like real. And I love there's like a skull. It's kind of like pirate.
Yeah.
I want to see pirate ships and stuff. So this sounds like a really fun adventure with a great writer and a fantastic artist doing the artwork. This is our A cover. There is a Stevens variant. And
that's your creator, that's Dave Stevens cover.
Oh, right, yeah. And there's a Murphy variant.
Sean Gordon Murphy.
Oh, that is, isn't it? Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, next up, we haven't talked about this book in a while, but this is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue number 325. So this is a big anniversary issue. And what's so big about this? 2 all-new Joes make their first appearance as Duke and Roadblock lead a dangerous covert ops into, I'm not sure what country, It is. Mine autocorrected to Borodin.
Oh,
Uh, but
somewhere.
it says a new era begins here, and you'll see those new characters. But it's really cool, like Larry Hama creating new GI Joe characters. Feel
Oh,
like
so they're brand new characters,
brand
not
new
just like
characters.
Joes that have never showed up.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I feel like this is like going back to the original mold and creating a
Yeah,
new one.
okay.
So we've got your A cover here. We've got a Rod Wingham wraparound cover, which is really cool. And then you have the Chris Mooneyham new Joe variant. So there you have Downrange and RC, which are your two new Joe members.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, we haven't talked about this book in a while. Just to be clear, this is not the Energon Universe G.I.
Right.
Joe. This is the other one, a Real American Hero.
Yeah, that has continued on since its original number one years and years ago.
2 new characters. That's awesome.
And then there's also, I thought this was really fun. This is the blank sketch file card. So you can make your own little file card.
Yeah, very nice. All right, so this is the Thundercats Valentine's Day Special 2026. Did we talk about this already?
I don't think so.
I kind of thought we did, but maybe not. So this is from Ed Brisson and Elton Tomasi. After setting out on a solo mission to explore the wilds of Third Earth, Panther finds himself caught in the middle of an ancient battle between 2 rival warlords. And these 2 factions have been at each other's throats for longer than anyone can remember. But as Panther discovers, their enemy has been made all the more bitter because of what they used to mean to each other.
No.
Faced with an escalating conflict that could endanger the Thundercats' adopted home, Panther must find a way to unravel a tangled web of old wounds and raw emotions and ignite a spark of reconciliation between the star-crossed commanders before the bloodshed expands to cover all of Third Earth. So, sounds like, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, this is going to be another, a bunch of little one-and-done stories like most of these Valentine's Day specials are. But it sounds like this is like one big story.
It's like the winter one that I talked about. That had the snowman of Hook Mountain and stuff. So, yeah, they do a good job with these.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're going to get one big story, maybe some good action in there, but with, the theme is love still. This is our A cover. There is a Sebastian Perez cover. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And a Zulema Scotto Lavina variant. Yeah, that's great.
Having Snarf as Cupid is great. Well, next up, Vampirella is still celebrating winter at this point.
Oh,
so
wow.
This is Vampirella Winter Special 2026, number 1. Dynamite loves their seasonal festivities. This one is by Liam Johnson and Jordan Michael Johnson. In this, Vampirella finds herself the prisoner of a mysterious billionaire, Stephen Dallas, a man famed for his single-minded pursuit of immortality. So what craziness is Vampirella going to get into? Is there going to be a giant snowman with reindeer antlers? Who knows? But it sounds really fun. We've got our A cover here. We have a Linsner cover and a Selena variant.
This is Darkstalkers X Street Fighter Hunter Killers. This is a one-shot. This is from Marshall Dillon and Tim Seeley, and the art is from Alberto Albuquerque. Deep in the Darkstalker dimension, Morgan tempts the werewolf John Talbane to give into his violent urges. Can Minot save Talbane from his own violent urges? And it's the penultimate chapter of the Lords of the Makai saga. I'm not that up on Darkstalkers, and my Street Fighter knowledge doesn't extend past the 90s. When I played Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the SNES all day and night. So
you look like Morgan. I mean, she was in like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well, I know her from that. I know like seeing her, but I don't really know like the lore and all that stuff. So everything I just said, I have no idea what it is. But you Darkstalker Street Fighters fans, definitely grab this one.
Darkstalkers.
I can't say Darkstalkers. It's so
Darkstalkers X Street Fighter.
I'll say Darkstalkers. This is our A cover, and there's a Brett Bean cover of I Hate Fairyland fame and upcoming Dork fame.
It sounds like you're insulting.
I'm not calling him a dork. The book is called Dork, yeah.
Well, next up we have continuing stories. Going to kick it off with G.I. Joe number 19. And G.I. Joe is just getting cooler and bigger and everything.
Yeah. Just last night, I finally caught up and finished the Dreadnought War. I've caught up on all that stuff, and it was awesome. I can't wait to see
the ending of that where you realize that maybe somebody was somebody else. That was big.
Plus, I just like that they know that Hound is there now. I would love to see Hound, like eventually become a member of the Joes and be like, hey, he eventually goes back to Optimus. He's like, I'm glad you guys are cool, but I'm gonna go hang out with my human friends for a while.
Well, you'll have to see, because the secret is out. When Duke discovers that Clutch has been hiding the Autobot Hound from the Joes, can anyone stop him from putting down Hound permanently?
Well,
Duke's not too happy about it because his run-in with Transformers is not a good one.
that's the thing. Is like I wouldn't mind if this whole issue were the two of them sitting down and Hound to be like, listen, here's who we are. We're the good guys. They were the bad guy. I want him to explain everything because like ever since this whole thing started, Duke thinks that all Transformers are bad.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen what's been going on in the pages of Transformers and how much good they're doing. So yeah, I want that to all get straightened
But
out.
his like best friend Clutch has been keeping this from him.
Yeah.
Also, is pretty horrifying, and like, yeah, I kind of get why Duke is so upset. But we have our A cover here. We have a Cassara variant, which
That's
is
great.
awesome. We have a Ben Oliver variant and a John Armour and Andres Suarez die-cut foil mask variant with Hound.
Although there's another issue that comes out before this, the one with Roadblock.
Oh yeah, we haven't
had that one yet, so that'll be next, and then this one. Well, keeping in line with Energon Universe, this is Transformers number 29. There is nothing in the solicitation on this other than Autobots versus Decepticons. Shocker. Only spoiler, and it's not the name, like it's redacted. Only spoiler can turn the tide. So I don't know who.
Matt Tracker.
Oh, it might be.
Because the 1 in 100 variant for this is Matt Tracker with his car.
Oh man, I hope so. Because
this series, like, I love Daniel Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona's run on it, but Kirkman and Dan Mora took it and are now like taking it a whole different direction, and I like it just as much.
I love Mask. But I don't really know what Matt
you?
Tracker can do against these guys.
He just drives his car right in the middle of it.
Yeah, right. He's kamikaze. He's like, so this is our A cover from David Nakayama. There's a Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer cover, which and a Jorge Corona and Mike Spicer variant also. And then that 1 in 100, it's almost like one of those color bleed covers. Yeah. It's all red with Thunderhawk, Matt Tracker's Thunderhawk on it. He's like getting out of the car. I love Mask, and I'm so glad that they're finally popping up.
Well, next up we have Tomb Raider Sacred Artifacts number 2. I do love that. I believe this is an homage to one of the original game covers.
Okay.
That's really cool. But issue number 1 of this came out this week. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I love seeing Tomb Raider back at Dark Horse. In this one, in order to keep dangerous and familiar relic out of the wrong hands, Lara Croft must travel to Italy and meet the mysterious masked adversary who stole it from her. And we saw that happen in the first issue. Really fun if you're a Tomb Raider fan. I don't feel like we have enough like adventure comics.
Yeah.
Like globetrotting, like Indiana Jones or Uncharted or Tomb Raider. So I love that we have this and just the 1 cover.
This is Doctor Strange number 3, and in this one, Veer Boden, who is like the evil elf wizard that they've been fighting these last couple issues. He and Riala are in the wind. Riala, I think, is like his dark, like apprentice kind of person. And Heaven teeters on the brink of collapse after a devastating blow. And Doctor Strange and Angela must defend Alfheim as a new threat rises. But can they find Verboten as the final pieces of his twisted plan begin to take shape? So this is our A cover. There is a Capuccio Black Panther variant. Give me that story. And a Baldemar Rivas variant.
Some Dark Elves. Well, next up we have Side Dimensional Rivals, issue number 2. Number 1 of this was really surprising. I really enjoyed it. Kind of the Peach Momoko helmed book, but with guest artists telling their own little stories. And this one, Side traverses new worlds in the search of magical stones. That's kind of the setup for it, and these different universes she goes into have different artists. And this one, Isad Ribic is doing one of these stories, which is going to be really cool to see their take on Psy, and as well as Natasha Bustos is doing some art on this one as well. So I just like this kind of as a showcase for different artists doing kind of a very original story. So we've got our A cover here. We have a Girahiru Black Panther variant and a Natasha Bustos variant as well. So we see in some interior art by them.
Next up is Uncanny X-Men number 24. Was it 23 that came out this
I
week?
guess so.
Or was it 22?
I don't know.
I thought it was 22 that came out this
Well,
week.
you know,
so
regular X-Men is like
bi-weekly,
bi-weekly, so
yeah.
maybe Uncanny is.
Okay, yeah, I think there's an issue. I think the one that this week was 22, and I actually quite liked it. And in this one, the Uncanny X-Men are the only force standing in front of a murderer's row of monsters, killers, and creatures, and Jubilee may fall off the vampire wagon just for a start. It's monsters versus mutants, and they're both out for blood. Is Morbius going to be part? That would be kind of neat.
What I think this is really interesting because I don't think people really liked it, but I really liked the story arc where Jubilee gets turned into a vampire. I forgot what that was called. Blood Hunt, Bloodlust, something like that.
What Blood Hunt?
That was a Blood Hunt, but it was called something of old X-Men, like 2010 X-Men story or something. And Jubilee was a vampire for a long time. Yeah. That's when she had her baby Shogo and everything, and so is she gonna fall off the vampire wagon? Is interesting. Of like, oh well, she knows what it's like to be a vampire.
And I just remembered, it's number 23 has not come out yet. They're on the cover. I think they're all on a Ferris wheel or something. So the one that came out this week was 22. This is 24. I don't remember talking about 23, but maybe we did. This is our A cover. There is an Anadito Hell's Kitchen variant. Diaz Al Pizar variant.
That's cool, and her glasses are the
and McFarlane Toys variant.
I saw that at Target the other day.
Oh, nice.
It's really cool, and I kind of want it.
That's one of the statues, isn't it?
It's one of the statues, yeah. It's one of the smaller ones, but I think it'd be cool to have the whole Jim Lee cover for number 1 of those. Well, next up, we've got Wolverine number 16. Do you remember what issue of Wolverine?
It was 14.
14.
So,
man,
we jumped
X-books are cranking out.
We skipped an issue on each of these.
I'm excited for this one, though, because Alpha Flight, you got Puck right there.
Yeah.
Secret Weapon, Alpha Flight, and Department H unleash a lethal weapon against Logan. Have they found a way to kill the unkillable mutant? And I think maybe that's with Alpha Flight. Plus, Silver Sable against the ropes, fighting for her life.
Good. So Silver Sable wasn't just in that one issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Wolverine's still in that little town because I think in upcoming issue, maybe 17 or 18, talks about that he's helping train the new Morlocks to defend themselves. Okay. So, but I really like this. I like this kind of Wolverine just out on his own, doing his own thing. And I really liked the last issue. So we've got our A cover here and a Damian Scott variant.
Nice.
And next up, we got a cover gallery of just some cool covers.
Starting with Supergirl number 10, the Elizabeth Torque variant, and a Chrissy Zulo Valentine's Day variant. I love that one.
And next up, we have Aquaman number 14. This is dealing more with Mara and everything, but I will be interested, considering last we saw of Aquaman, if he will play any role in this. But you can see they're still playing with that Omega symbol. So this is your A cover by John Timms. We've got a Nathan Zerdy variant. We have a Oscar Yildirim variant. That one's really cool. I like. That's not King Shark, but it's that other shark guy.
Is it Tiger? No, not
Tiger Shark's Marvel.
Yeah.
And a Sowie variant.
This is Batman and Robin number 30. This is the last issue of this series, and I'm really bummed out because this has been phenomenal. This is the Gillen March cover, and there's a Brian Boland cover.
That one's great. And next up, we have Daredevil Punisher, the Devil's Trigger number 4. This is David Nakayama, the color block red variant. And there is also a Gabriel Del Otto variant.
And number 3 comes out next week.
Is this a 5 issue?
I think so.
It feels weird that this is going on, but the new Punisher and the new Daredevil are starting really, like, maybe before this ends?
No, because Daredevil number 1 comes out April 1st. And Punisher Red Band has still another issue to go, I think. So those should be... This and those should be done, I think, by the time the new number 1s for each one come out, I think.
Okay.
This is Barbaric, the Long Death number 2, the Jim Mahfood cover. I
just thought it was awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We've also got Pop Kill number 1, Seasonal Flavors Valentine's Day Facsimile Edition. So they've been re-releasing the first issue of Pop Kill, but there was a Christmas one, and now there's a Valentine's Day one, and it's just a cool way of keeping people reminded of this. Hopefully we get a new volume of Pop Kill sometime in the future.
And then we have the Witchblade annual for 2026, and this is the B cover from Stepan Sajic,
which
which looks great. Yeah.
and he was the artist on Witchblade for a while.
Oh, was
back
he?
in the day.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was kind of where he got part of his start.
Hmm.
He's a phenomenal artist. Well, next up we have Bookshelf, and there's quite a few things to talk about here that are pretty cool. Starting with Batman Beyond Unlimited Compendium, and this is I did some research on this to see exactly what this collects. So this collects Volume 3, 1 through 6, and so Volume 1 and 2 of Batman Beyond go back to like the original, like while the show was coming out, like the very like Cartoon Network,
Yeah.
that style. This is like your modern Batman Beyond. It still was quite a few years ago. I think maybe
This is
2010.
it's like the comic book Batman Beyond, not the cartoon in the comics,
Yeah,
but the actual
because the first two
comic
volumes
version.
were like more of the cartoon,
Yeah.
and then this is more of like within the DC universe. So it has Volume 3, 1 through 6, Batman Beyond Volume 4, 1 through 8, Batman Beyond Unlimited 1 through 18, Superman Batman Annual number 4. No, not Batman Superman. Superman Batman,
Yeah,
the
that was-
original
yeah.
series. Superman Beyond number 0, and stories from Justice League Beyond the digital series, which I remember that was early days of like Comicsology.
I used to buy those there every week. They'd come out and they were $1. Yeah,
Yep.
99
I
cents.
did
I'd
that.
buy
I
one.
bought the Smallville one. And
Yeah.
I love that. And Batman Beyond Return of the Joker one shot. So I mean, this is a great collection.
Missed opportunity. I don't think it would have fit, but to have the Batman Neo Gothic and Neo Year miniseries in here, because that I love.
I feel like
those
that
two.
would be like a second,
Yeah, maybe.
a second one. But yeah, this is great, and you can get this whole thing for $59.99.
Very nice. This is Batman Dark Patterns, the trade paperback. This is going to be $29.99. It collects all 12 issues. I actually just read this whole series just a couple, actually over the Christmas break,
Yeah.
I think. I fell off after the first couple issues. So I read the whole thing, and this is so phenomenal. It's 12 issues. They are broken up into 4 separate little 3-issue mysteries. But they do still there is still kind of a through line a little bit. But yeah, each set of 3 issues is a different like detective story. Hayden Sherman on art, Dan Waters is the writer. Like this is a really, really good Batman book.
And kind of its own thing.
Right.
Like you don't have to have read anything else
Yeah.
to read this. Well, next up, we have our next of the DC Finest. This is DC Finest Justice League of America, Starro the Conqueror. So you can see for the cover what you're going to be getting here. Collects Brave and the Bold 28 through 30, which is your original premiere of the Justice League, plus Justice League of America 1 through 19, and Mystery in Space number 75. So all these are published between 1960 and 1963. So if you want to see the birth of the Justice League proper, this is it. And this is going to be $39.99.
And then we have the Flash, the Road to Rebirth Omnibus. So this is going to be $125, and it collects issues 26 through 52 of the New 52 run of Flash. I believe, right? Because that's the one.
Yeah.
Because it said like Brett Booth is the artist, and that's when he was doing it. That's when Flash had that weird like sort of blue costume. Because I don't quite remember. It was a
this
little
is
weird.
when they brought Wally in. But Wallace West
Well,
was the new one, but he had the silver
yeah,
red, which was a very weird
That was great
suit. But yeah, this one I feel like some people maybe don't like it. I think in hindsight, I would really like to reread this because I do think Brett Booth's art on this like was really good, and there's some really interesting stories in here that were you're right, that weird like tipping point from New 52 into Rebirth.
Right, and this also has Flash Futures End, so there's that whole Futures End thing was kind of weird. DC Universe Rebirth number 1 and a story from Secret Origins number 7. So yeah, this is the tail end of New 52 on into Rebirth from Flash's perspective.
Which is tends to be the main perspective for a lot of big DC events. Well, next up we have Supergirl Volume 1, Misadventures in Midvale. So this is the current Supergirl series by Sophie Campbell, and with Sophie Campbell doing some of the art, and then various other artists. And this collects issues 1 through 6 of that for $17.99. And I wanted to talk about this. This is Frankenstein the Unconquered, trade paperback volume 1. This was originally released as a Kickstarter, and I just want to put on here because I did a cover for this. I don't know if it's collected in here, but I saw this come up and I was like, hey, I know that. I did that. So it says 500 years after the end of Mary Shelley's novel, the Arctic thaws and the beast awakens to a bombed out post-apocalypse as hideous and hostile as he is. Seeing an opportunity to reinvent himself and live the peaceful life he always wanted, the beast attempts to live simply with villagers who are unafraid of his ghastly appearance. But when soldiers come to collect their due, violence is his only answer, and his dream of a simple life is ripped away in a nightmare of his own design. So this is by Wells Thompson and Dalton K. Shannon, illustrated by Mary Landreau and Elizabeth McDesey. And yeah, I think it was the last issue of this book, which I don't even remember what number that was, but I did a cover for it. And I thought, hey, it'd be cool if that was collected in here. I don't know if it is.
It's the cover you were doing where it's like he's like in a swamp kind of
he's like sitting on in the roots of a tree, and there's like a creature from the Black Lagoon thing like lurking in the water.
I remember you working on that. That's such a cool cover. I love that.
So it'd be cool if it's in here. I'm not saying it is. I don't know. But I thought this was cool and I wanted to mention it, and you can get this for $24.99. And next up we have new printings, and boy howdy,
there's tons of them.
There's tons of them.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of second printings for Absolute Batman. So we have Absolute Batman number 14, second printing, the A cover, and this is what the A cover was for the first printing. Maybe the color of the logo is different, but there's also a Gerald Perel cover as well.
I've already ordered this one because it's so crazy.
So again, this is number 14, the second printing, but we also have a bunch of second printings for number 15. So this is the A cover for that, which is the same as the A cover for the first printing, just with different colors on the cover. But there's also a Delato cover, which looks great. There is a Nick Dragotta foil variant, a Jock foil variant, a Ben Oliver foil variant, and a Brian Boland foil variant. So those 4 foil variants, those were the regular variants for the first printing, but they weren't in foil. And I got all 4 of those. So am I going to have to get all 4 of those now in foil? I really don't want to, because that's going to be expensive, but it might be too tempting to pass up.
I really like the new covers on these too. The Perel and the Delato, I think are really, really nice.
Yeah.
We also have Aquaman number 11. This is the second printing and another part of DCKO. So if you missed it, it's really nice that they are making these available again for those who want to go back and maybe missed out on some of the tie-in issues. So don't miss out on that if you missed it the first time.
This is the Batman Adventures Mad Love Special Facsimile Edition, which this on the first Harley Quinn.
No, I mean her first is Batman Adventures.
Right.
Is in Batman Adventures, and then her first in regular is that Joker graphic novel.
I was trying to remember what the Mad Love Special was, but I don't remember.
I think the first one that's like spotlighting on her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We actually have the original copy of this next door.
Okay.
I forgot exactly like what its claim to fame is, other than is Mad Love the first?
I should have looked before
episode. I don't know. I don't remember. But, you know it, you love it, you want it. And we also have Superman 423, the facsimile edition of Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. A very classic story. Kurt Swan. So yeah, Alan Moore, Kurt Swan, and George Perez on this.
Yeah, I get those mixed up all the time. Okay.
But check out one of the other things on here: the new Brainiac Luthor team. So we may be seeing those in live action before too long.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, one of the most celebrated issues of Superman is Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. So if you've never read it, you can get an awesome copy of it here. The regular edition, the foil, and I believe a blank sketch cover of that as well.
And there's a 4th printing of Deadpool Batman number 1. This is the Marvel one. So the Deadpool Batman, which is the first one that came out.
Yep.
And this is from Lionel Francis Yu.
And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Head on over to infinityflux.net right now where you can place your pre-orders for these books. Make sure to pre-order them because these will sell out. Many of these will sell out. They do every time, and I order more and they sell out, and I feel like a fool. But
I'm gonna laugh at you next time.
please do. But makes it super important for you to pre-order this so you don't miss out on any of these awesome books. Make sure to like and subscribe because we have content like this multiple times a week. Stay tuned for our Monday show. We'll be going over some of the big books that come out next week, and there are some really awesome ones that I have sitting next to me. And I'm gonna pull one out, and it's gonna be
The DCKO Galactic Slam book comes out next week, which I think is going to be a ton of fun. Like I said, we've got 3 of the Shadows of Tomorrow.
we've got
X-Men.
X-Men 24.
Number 23 was great.
Yeah, so that'll be really cool to see. Star Wars number 9, Titans number 31, which is part of DCKO. So yeah, a lot of really great stuff. So tune in on Monday to hear us talk all about those and show their variants and do all the stuff we usually do. And I think that's it.
That's it.
Okay, well, until next time, Grifter says bye.
So does Spartan.
Surprise Wildcats appearance, guest starring Wildcats, and mine his bottom of his jacket fell off. But until next time,
See ya.